Well, welcome back, folks. This is part 2 of the short series on restoring the handlebar controls for the Suzuki TS50 project. What you see in the shot right now is the controls that are complete. We're about a week or so, 10 days later from the first part of this little series. This is the left control, of course, the clutch lever right here, the right control with the brake lever. I've gone completely through these controls, taken them all apart, all the switches, the mechanisms inside of here, and cleaned everything, checked all the continuity of the wires, repaired everything. When I say repair, here's an example of what I'm talking about. You can see this white wire, I think right here, and the gray wire had little nicks in the insulation, so I just, well, number one, I replaced all the ends. These bullet connectors here, these brass bullet connectors are all new because they weren't in very good condition, and I needed to clip off 2 of them anyway. That would be the white one and the gray one, so I could slide the heat shrink tubing over the wire to cover it where it was nicked. So I had to cut those 2 off anyway. So I thought while I was doing it, I'd just replace all 4 of the bullet connectors right there. So I did a couple of repairs, replaced these 4 connectors, re-sleeved it all the way up into the controls. You can see here, let's see which one. This switch is new right here on the right side. I'll come back to that in a minute. This button or switch right here is the original that came off of it, as well as the horn button. All the hardware, the screws, the nuts, washers are all original. I did not have replacements in stock, though you can get these still. Most of these pieces, that is the hardware. You can't get the switch parts, but you can get the hardware new from Suzuki, though it's very expensive. So I replated everything, cleaned it up, put it back together. Everything was tumbled in my polisher for around 48 hours or so. The clutch lever right here is a aftermarket replacement. Right here is the specifics, some MGO, if you can see that right there. That's the bag it came in. This is no longer available from Suzuki, and when you find them NOS on eBay, they are very expensive. I think I paid for this around $5 or $6 US, so it was quite inexpensive. This brake lever is new Suzuki. You can still get these, conversely to this one. You can still get these, and this is a Suzuki lever. I don't remember what I paid for it anymore. I'm going to say around $12 US dollars or so, something like that. So this is Suzuki, this is aftermarket. I had to do a little filing in here to make it fit right, but it's okay now. It was a little bit tight, so I had to do just a little touch up on the casting of this lever. As I have said before, doing handlebar controls, when you get into the details, and you have to take these all apart in order to put them in a tumbler. You can't obviously tumble it like this, so the whole wiring harness has to come out. All those little pieces of the switch gear inside there have to come out, and there's springs and little bearings, and it's very delicate work, and you have to be careful with it. So that's one of the reasons why this is just not my favorite thing to do, but excuse me, it went okay, went fine. I did test all the wires when I was done, put everything back together to make sure everything, all the switches work, the horn button. I used my multimeter continuity testers just to make sure everything was working. You can reference a wiring diagram to determine which wires work together if you're not sure. And using a simple multimeter, you can very quickly test and see if all your wiring and switches are working the way you would expect. And again, all of mine here are fine. The only ones I'm really concerned about anyway, truth be told, is the horn button and the high-low beam indicator, which is on the left control. On the right control here, we have the the turn signal or winker control, which is not used on this bike. So it's redundant, it's not necessary. It does work correctly, but it's not really used. But I wanted to make sure it worked anyway. So this black button right here, part of the switch, I replaced because the original had been damaged. You can still find, they're not available from Suzuki. You can find them on eBay quite readily. This one was the original that came off the switch, and it was in very good condition, virtually perfect, so I didn't have to replace that. So the controls are all ready to go back on the handlebars, and start buttoning up that part of the project, which I'm going to move over to the bike and I'm going to do next. I'm not going to show attaching these to the handlebars, but I will bring you back in a few minutes or whenever I get to installing these on the handlebars, mounting the handlebars on the bike, and you'll see these in position on the As you can see, I've got the handlebars mounted on the bike and the controls and the hand grips. The hand grips, both left and right, were new when I bought the bike. The previous owner had just purchased these and put them on. They are Suzuki. They've got the little Suzuki stylized S logo stamped right into them, so those are new. You can still get those from Suzuki, by the way. Handlebars are in place and are torqued down, the fasteners, so they're mounted permanently, the handlebars. The wiring, the cabling coming from the controls, I've just got zip tied to the handlebars for now. Eventually, once I get everything settled into place, I will permanently affix the wiring, which goes on the outside of the handlebars, by the way, on this bike, with the regular Suzuki style clamps that will clamp the wiring to the handlebar itself. But I just use black zip ties for now just to get the wiring up out of the way here, as you can see. And I'll tie that all up a little bit later when I get the headlight on, which will probably be next. Headlight shell, all the wiring that goes with that, I'll pull all that together up here in the harness and button everything up. I do have a new, here it is right here, clutch cable. That is a NOS Suzuki cable. I don't know if they still supply those or not, to be honest with you, but this was not expensive and it is the right part. I will put the cabling in later on. That is the clutch cable, the brake cable, the throttle cable, which I have not sorted out what I'm going to do with the throttle cable yet. I might end up reusing the original. The starter cable, which connects right here to this lever off of this bike, is in virtually perfect condition, so it just needs to be cleaned up, and I can put that back in place as well. But for now, the controls and the handlebars I'm going to consider complete, so that I can move on to the headlight shell, get the headlight mounted and the wiring tied up for that. The speedometer will get mounted, of course, up in that area there. And eventually I'll come back to tying all this up and finishing it up. But for now, the handlebars and the grips controls are complete. Just wanted to give you a little view of that. I know this is a short video, but I'm just trying to keep you up to date with what I've been working on in the last couple of weeks. At the very end of this video, I will just put a little photo up of the parts, the hardware, the original hardware that I replated as it was coming, it just had come out of the polisher tumbler, so you can see what it looked like before I mounted it back on the handlebars. So that'll be coming up here in just a second. That's going to be it for this video today, folks. Any issues, questions, thoughts, drop me a note. Otherwise, as usual, thanks for watching.